Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transportation today. And by this year's electric vehicle raffle for the planet from CCAN Action Fund. There are only 10 days left to enter to get a chance to win a brand new EV. The prize draw takes place on September 2nd, so hurry and get your tickets before the time runs out. And by Energy Sage. Time's running out in the US to get the benefit of federal tax incentives, so plan your energy independence today. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. New EV sales figures for the month of July around the world have finally been tabulated, and for those who claim EV sales are falling, I'm happy to report that they are wrong. Global research firm Row Motion reported this week that 1.6 million electric vehicles were sold in July, up 21% year over year. That brings total sales for the year so far to 10.7 million, a 27% increase year over year. In China, sales are up 40% year over year, while European sales have seen a 30% increase year to date. That said, in some countries, in France for example, there was a decline. In the United States, growth was far more modest, with just a 2% increase year to date. However, President Trump's ending of federal electric vehicle tax incentives in just over a month has prompted a surge in demand. Many buyers are rushing to purchase before those tax credits expire. You could call it a Trump bump. As automakers look to shift production around the world to maximise profits and avoid unnecessary tariffs, Kia has celebrated the start of local production of the EV4 in Slovakia for the European market. The recently modernised facility in Žilina, Slovakia, known as Kia Autoland Slovakia, has been producing European market internal combustion engine models for more than 20 years. However, this is the first time the facility has produced an electric vehicle. For now, only the 5-door hatchback variant of the EV4 will be built at the facility. The 4-door sedan, or saloon if you prefer, will still be imported from South Korea. In addition to saving on shipping costs, domestic production allows Kia to respond more quickly to demand in Europe, which, as our previous news story shows, has risen 30% year over year. As Volkswagen celebrated the production of its 1.5 millionth electric ID vehicle, which happened to be an all-black ID.7 Tourer Pro, the automaker has secured the deal it needs to be able to produce its most affordable EV yet. As reported towards the end of the week, Volkswagen has officially signed an agreement with Portugal to make its Palmela factory home to both the new ID.1, the subcompact electric vehicle due to launch in late 2027, and the facelifted T-Roc. The deal was signed at an official groundbreaking ceremony marking construction of a new paint shop at the site. While neither the government nor Volkswagen officially confirmed the value of the subsidies in the deal, the local newspaper, Observador, citing sources close to both parties, reports that up to €30 million has been earmarked. Ford and its battery partner SK On celebrated the start of official NCM battery cell production at the newly completed BlueOval SK facility in Glendale, Kentucky. The first cells to roll off the line are headed to Ford's historic Rouge electric vehicle production facility in Detroit for the F-150 Lightning. Additional cells will be used in other models, including the Ford E-Transit, bringing Ford closer to an all-domestic battery supply chain. BlueOval SK's CEO confirmed to the Detroit News this week that production at its Tennessee facility has been delayed until 2027. The company, which operates independently of Ford, is also seeking new customers amid uncertainty in the US about the future of electric vehicles under an EV-hostile government. The more contracts it can secure, the more cells it can produce, which means the lower the cost per cell becomes and the more sustainable and robust its business model will be. Sticking with batteries, Porsche has hit the news this week with what at first appeared to be conflicting stories. Der Spiegel reported this week that Porsche executives are considering an almost total shutdown of its battery subsidiary Cellforce, keeping only a skeletal staff for research and development. The company declined to confirm or deny the report. At the very same time, Porsche's investment arm participated in a Series D funding round worth $463 million for battery specialist Group 14, which focuses on advanced silicon-based active cell materials. Its subsidiary V4 Smart also launched second-generation lithium-ion cylindrical cells in two different formats this week, one for high power delivery and one for balanced energy to power delivery. Taken together, it appears Porsche is not ending its battery efforts, but shifting priorities to what it considers the latest, most promising tech. European policies designed to slow imports of Chinese-made electric vehicles, or at least even the playing field between Chinese companies and domestic brands, might be backfiring. A new Dataforce analysis this week suggests automakers like BYD and MG, both of which plan to bring EV production to Europe and thus avoid tariffs, are using a stopgap measure. They are increasing their imports of plug-in hybrids until their European facilities are online. Current rules do not affect plug-in hybrids in the same way as electric vehicles, meaning plug-in hybrids can, in some cases, be imported more cheaply than fully electric models. While the original tariffs were meant to affect only Chinese-made, Chinese-branded vehicles, many European manufacturers, including BMW and Volkswagen-owned Seat and Cupra, are also affected, as some of their EV models are made in China. Multiple lawsuits have already been filed against the European Union over this. If you have an air quality meter like an air gradient, you might notice a drop in air quality when certain electrical appliances are on, due to static electricity, heat and poor ventilation concentrating fine particulates. A team of researchers at UCLA in California have found the same effect around DC fast chargers. At 47 sites monitored in Los Angeles County, PM 2.5 reached 39 micrograms per cubic meter, or an AQI of around 110. Well above typical urban background levels. Of course, fast chargers do not generate PM 2.5 directly. Instead, poor cooling and design can recirculate dust and fine particulates that would otherwise settle. Long term, the research team says that a few tweaks to cabinet designs could dramatically reduce localized PM 2.5 concentrations. But for now, anyone with respiratory conditions might want to avoid standing directly next to a charging stall for prolonged periods while it's in use. Electrical vertical takeoff and landing company Archer Aviation has just completed its longest piloted flight yet of its Midnight aircraft, covering approximately 55 miles or 88 kilometres in just over half an hour. While the company cites the distance as approximately, which is amusing given modern flight instruments, it says the flight reached a top speed of over 126 miles per hour, 202 kilometres per hour. The week prior, test flights reportedly exceeded 150 miles per hour, or 241 kilometres per hour, across a variety of flight patterns. Although Archer's press release feels intentionally vague, it is worth noting that the company currently has an ongoing test program with the US Air Force and is also working to obtain both FAA certification in the US and the airworthiness approval it needs for commercial operations in the United Arab Emirates, where a significant portion of its funding comes from. Ahead of its production launch this autumn, Nissan has confirmed that its 2026 Leaf will go on sale in the US with a starting price under $30,000. The Leaf, now in its 15th year, will launch in 3 trim levels and moves away from its previous hatchback style for an all-new crossover feel. Built on the same platform as the Nissan Ariya, it will come with a 52 or 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack. While a lower-cost variant is eventually coming, the S trim, Nissan says the S Plus trim will be the cheapest at launch, with a larger battery pack and an estimated EPA range of 303 miles or 487 kilometers per charge. At $29,990, it is the lowest MSRP of any new electric vehicle in the US today. That price excludes the soon-to-end federal tax credits, though state incentives may reduce the end cost further. With an even cheaper model possibly coming later, this is very good news for fans of more affordable electric vehicles. And finally, a quick update from US political land. So, if you don't want to hear about the resident Nazi-in-chief, feel free to skip this section. It's totally okay. I'll wait. Still here? Good. Strap in. This week, in addition to trying to erase museum exhibits about slavery, deploying more armed troops to the US Capitol, encouraging ethnic cleansing in Gaza, attempting to remove voting rights from millions of Americans, and trying again to ban trans healthcare, and threatening the legal status of more than 55 million legal US visa holders, President Tiny PP has instructed the Department of the Interior to deny all future solar and wind projects in the US, both on and offshore. At this point, it seems to mostly affect grid-scale projects, but who knows? And if you are about to rant in the comments that I'm being political, tough titty. We're past quiet compliance. I am deeply sorry to the rest of the world for how hateful and selfish the White House and the US Republican Party has currently been. This week, they even painted over a sidewalk monument in Florida to the victims of the Pulse nightclub massacre. And they did it at night, so nobody would notice. I am so angry and I have no words. State-sponsored hate and disinformation is not and has never been okay. I'm going to have more stories in a moment, but first, I want to let you all know that it's your final, and I do mean final week, where you can buy a ticket for one of the US's best-known electric vehicle raffles. In just 10 days' time, the CCAN Action Fund is announcing the 3 lucky winners of their EV raffle for the planet, and they are still massively undersold. The drawing is on September 2nd, and there are still thousands of tickets left. Each ticket gives you 3 chances to win an amazing electric car, with prices ranging from the Lucid Gravity SUV to the Rivian R1S or R1T, a Porsche Mach E, a Volkswagen ID Buzz, and more. Fewer tickets sold means fewer tickets in your drawing, meaning your odds of winning a new EV are even better. And time is running out for you to get your tickets and a chance to win, all while supporting a fantastic non-profit doing great work across the US to advocate for and advance clean energy and EVs. If you haven't yet bought a ticket, what are you waiting for? And if you already have one, well, you may want to pick another one up to increase your odds. Tickets are just $200. Head over to www.evraffle.org to get your ticket today. And hurry, that's evraffle.org. You can also just point your smartphone at this little QR code on the screen or follow the link in our show notes. And good luck! We're off to recall reminders now, and as always, you'll find show notes with further details on our website at transportevolved.com. We've got just one recall this week, the Ford Mustang Mach E. Certain 2025 model year examples are part of a larger Ford recall affecting faulty LED drive modules that could burn out. Ford is notifying owners of affected cars next week. And that's your solitary recall reminder. Now off to our news shorts, and the show notes are on our website and they link to all of the stories that we are covering today. NIO's budget brand Firefly has officially delivered its first vehicles to customers in Europe. The launch model, the Firefly EV, is also heading to Singapore shortly, expanding NIO's Firefly brand availability. 2 US representatives, DeSaulnier and Stanton, from California and Arizona respectively, have introduced a new act to try and extend US HOV-lane perks for EVs beyond their current September end date. They are unlikely to get the support they need to succeed. Vinfast is going through a restructuring program to try and save money. Some research and development assets are being transferred to a new company called Novatech, which Vinfast's current CEO is expected to then wholly acquire. In a partnership with Unilever and Volvo, DHL has launched Africa's first electric Superlink truck to electrify parcel deliveries in South Africa. The rigid FMX 6x4 truck is already in operation. Chinese company Verizon has launched 2 new variants of its SV van, a 7-seat taxi and a combi van capable of carrying both passengers and cargo. They both launched at the Hong Kong Auto Expo this week. CATL has appointed African firm Bazigo as its authorised service partner for sub-Saharan Africa. Bazigo's service teams in Kenya and Rwanda will train to service and repair CATL EV battery packs. As US federal tax credits for EVs end next month, Lucid has announced its own incentive discount program for new Gravity SUV leases through until the end of the year, worth $7,500. Despite some significant blowing hot and cold on EVs lately, Mercedes-Benz has confirmed that it will be bringing its replacement for the EQE, the electric E-Class, to market in 2027, a full year ahead of schedule. The Czech capital of Prague is set to get a major cash injection to expand EV charging infrastructure after the City Council of Prague approved 493 million koruna for the programme. Autonomous rideshare company WeRide has announced a new strategic equity investment from Grab, Southeast Asia's leading super app, to expand its service area into Southeast Asia. As deliveries of its budget-friendly EVs soar above 220,000 units in the first half of this year, Leapmotor has recorded its first-ever semi-annual net profit of 30 million yuan. In the same period last year, it lost 2.21 billion yuan. SAIC subsidiary Maxus has announced it will introduce a new all-electric truck to the UK market. The eDeliver 75 is a fully electric 7.5-tonne rigid body. Sales will start in October. The Workhorse Group and Motive Electric Trucks have announced that they are merging. The two companies, which have both been in operation for some time, say the sale is worth $105 million. Princeton NuEnergy Inc. has opened a new battery recycling facility in Chester, South Carolina. It's the US's first commercial-scale advanced black mass and battery-grade cathode active material production facility. It can handle both NCM and LFP chemistries. The UK government has confirmed that it will extend its plug-in van and truck grant programme through until at least 2027. Its programme helped set new electric truck registrations last month. Hyundai has patented a new method of utilising copper inside sulfide-based solid-state battery packs. The inclusion of copper is designed to improve conductivity, durability, and lower production costs. Mercedes-Benz is trying to sweeten lease deals for its G-Wagon with EQ technology in the US. It now offers $9,500 in cash-on-hood lease deals, but the lease itself still remains very expensive. Lucid has debuted its Gravity X concept in Pebble Beach, a beefier off-road capable version of the already in production Gravity. It promises a future off-road performance model from the brand. Republic Services and ComEd celebrated the launch of Chicago's first all-electric refuse truck fleet this week. Multiple Mack LR electric trucks are now operating throughout the city. Electric motor company Orbis Electric has launched a new axial flux motor this week called the Halo Drive. It's designed to be used as an in-wheel motor in heavy-duty trucking applications. Volkswagen has launched a new series of subscription services for ID3 owners in Europe. These include a performance unlock to give ID3 Pro owners an extra 20 kilowatts of power. Audi's Chinese subsidiary, AUDI, basically Audi but shouted, has officially opened its first production facility in Shanghai. Its E5 Sportback, the first model from the brand, is now in production. European firm Ecobac has sold its battery recycling and lead specialty operations in Germany and Austria to Clarios. The firm says it wants to focus on its core recycling business and global operations. Cox Automotive's latest EV Market Monitor report shows that in addition to flying off dealer lots as new cars, Honda's Prologue EV is also selling extremely well in the used car marketplace. The driver, in a viral video showing a Ford Mustang Mach E seemingly out of control and crashing, has been arrested on suspicion of DUI. The video shows the driver praying behind the wheel, but inebriation, not technology, is believed to be the cause of the crash. Can-Am has launched a new all-electric quad that the company says has more torque than a comparable gasoline model. It has a 50-mile range and joins Can-Am's other EV models. The Director of Customer Success and Operations at Windrose Technology has stated online that the electric truck company is 90 days behind on payroll and out of money. The company has yet to officially declare bankruptcy. Geely-owned Livian Auto has announced a new car, the Smurf EV. It's bright blue, super cute, and very different from the brand's other models. It's also powered by a tiny 30-kilowatt motor. Wood Mackenzie's latest infrastructure report suggests that we will see 206.6 million charging stations worldwide by 2040. It predicts a 12.3% CAGR. The capacitive touch buttons found on the steering wheel of the Volkswagen ID family of EVs, as well as some of Volkswagen's other cars, are now subject to a multiple class action lawsuit that claims they have led to accidents. Austin, Texas-based hydrogen fuel cell startup High Road has made a bulk purchase of the 113 unsold Nikola hydrogen fuel cell trucks. The trucks were put up for auction after Nikola declared bankruptcy. ChargePoint is now offering its OmniPort, an adapter that enables charging for both J1772 and NACS inlet EVs at level 2 charging stations as an aftermarket conversion kit for existing ChargePoint stations. Ridgefiled High School in Connecticut is celebrating a brand new carport in its parking lot that can generate up to 1 megawatt of solar power. It's expected to deliver an estimated $1.5 million in energy savings over the next 25 years. Weeks after Hyundai's prestige brand Genesis withdrew the electrified G80 sedan from sale in the US, we're learning that the GV70 may be next, despite currently being made in the US. While we were covering a story about Shell ripping out EV charging stations in the US last week, this week I'm glad to report the exact opposite is happening in Finland, where a Shell filling station in Jurajärvi removed its last petrol pump to become an all-electric site. Sorry about my Finnish pronunciation. Australia Post welcomed a new fleet of Mercedes-Benz eVito vans to its delivery fleet this week, continuing towards its goal of electrifying its mail delivery services. It now has 5,000 EVs in operation across the country. Nissan has announced a new partnership with LiCap Technologies to develop the technology needed for making cathodes for solid-state batteries. Nissan aims to commercialise solid-state batteries in vehicles by 2028. Researchers at Georgia Tech have published a paper showing that fast charge rates can actually improve the health of zinc-ion battery cells, extending lifespan and improving ion flow. BYD has officially launched its most affordable EV yet in the UK. Priced from £30,850 on the road, the Atto 2 aims to continue BYD UK's sales success. And finally, for the news shorts, Xiaomi's CEO confirmed this week in a call to investors following its quarterly earnings that the brand is eyeing expansion into Europe. It's unlikely to happen for a few years, but it is certainly on the roadmap. And those are your news shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are coming up next, but first, a quick word from one of today's sponsors, Energy Sage, who can help you in the US green your heating and energy. Energy Sage connects you with local verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help guide you through the process of installing solar panels or getting a heat pump installed. Not a homeowner? No worries. Energy Sage can still help you green your electricity by helping you join a community solar program. We used Energy Sage ourselves when looking for installers willing to put solar panels on the roof of our home, and their verified pros were knowledgeable and even introduced us to a great credit union that allowed us to finance the project with low monthly payments. As I'm sure many of you know, HR1 is now US law, and all incentives for solar, including savings of as much as 30% through the federal tax credit program, will disappear very soon. Unfortunately, solar projects take time, so if you want to lock in those savings, you must act now, because time is running out. Follow the links below to sign up for Energy Sage's free no-obligation service and get started today. And if you choose an Energy Sage installer, we will also receive a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us too. Help the grid get greener, save money, gain energy independence, and support the show? It's a win-win, win-win. And now it's time for those last two stories. If you've been watching the news for the past few weeks, you'll know that the US federal government is working hard to try and eliminate the EPA's endangerment finding, a key 2009 finding that air pollution is damaging to human health. The pretzel-like loops the Enriching Polluters Association has been tying themselves into to try and argue that protecting the environment and human health is not the primary concern of the EPA has been frustrating at best and enraging at worst. And as we pointed out, there's currently a public consultation period on the proposed rule changes. And this week, we saw 4 days of public hearings into the proposed changes, where supporters and opponents to the proposal got to speak. Sadly, we're filming this before the 3rd and 4th days of testimony have happened, but as of the time of writing and filming this, 364 people have spoken in opposition to the elimination of the endangerment finding, while only 8 spoke in support of it. I don't think that will ultimately sway the EPA's decision. After all, that is not how the federal government under President Trump works. But it does show there is at least some hope, as long as we all keep fighting for what's right. And finally, the Caped Crusader has been around for more than 86 years, and the story of Gotham's wealthy playboy turned superhero, along with his various sidekicks, has been told in countless different ways. And of course, as Batman has evolved, so has his preferred method of transportation. From comics to the small and big screen, we've seen many different takes on the Batmobile, and sometimes even a motorcycle or two. Over the years, there have also been plenty of tie-ins from different high-end luxury marques and brands. But this week, Indian manufacturer Mahindra unveiled something a little different. Its own official, Warner Brothers approved Batmobile, the Mahindra BE6 Batman Edition. It's the company's and the world's first Batman-inspired electric SUV and can be yours from just 27.79 lakh rupee. Only 300 examples will be made, with deliveries beginning on September 20th, which also happens to be International Batman Day. So if you're in India, or you have Bruce Wayne levels of money to ship one overseas, you could soon be rolling up at the lights, lowering down your window and announcing, "I'm Batman." And on that vocal cord destroying note, we are in fact done for today. Before I go though, a huge thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring today's show. The EVA has been advocating for electric vehicles since 1967 and remains firmly committed to a cleaner, greener future for everyone. Join the EVA today to find out how to become an EV educator, meet like-minded fans, and get help to make your own transition to electric. Help that also includes a low-interest loan program to help finance your next step. You can find out more at myeva.org. Thanks also go to CCAN Action Fund. Buy your tickets today at evraffle.org and be quick. The drawing takes place on September 2nd. Also thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the link below to plan your own energy-independent future before those tax credits vanish. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so for just $1.50 a month on Patreon. And if you can, we would really appreciate it. YouTube, in its ultimate wisdom, is now inserting so many ads into long-form content that it's pushing people off the platform, and it's also diluting the money paid to creators for every ad. And because right now there's not really a good alternative for those to publish content. I mean, Peer 2 is great, but we can't make money off it. And no, Nebula is invite only, which is why we're not there. Patreon is really our only reliable form of income. In fact, if just 400 of our 152,000 subscribers who have yet to sign up to Patreon did so and committed to giving the equivalent of a fancy coffee a month, we would be in a much better financial position. If you're interested, we are preparing a massive fundraising drive this autumn with special perks for those who sign up during that period. So do keep your eyes peeled if you would like more incentives to support us. I know also that many of you say get a day job, and while it would be lovely to all have day jobs and still make content here, this channel is a full-time affair and our team does deserve normal things like healthcare and a living wage. I should also note here that we are available for third-party video production work in the greater Portland, Oregon area if you have a business or a project you'd like us to work with you on, so reach out. Below you'll also find links to our swag store and our Amazon affiliate link. We publish every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday on this channel, and every Sunday we drop 2 videos on Transport Evolved Take 2, which is more informal and behind the scenes. And in closing today, some important messages. You are valid, you are loved, and you belong, no matter what hateful sods try to claim. Right now, division and hate aren't just tolerated, they are encouraged by those in power, those driven by a lust for cruelty. In these times, kindness and empathy become acts of radical resistance. Empathy is not weakness, it is a skill we must practice and nurture to hold on to our shared humanity. I have no words for the true horror of the current news cycle, especially if you are in a minority group and if you've needed to turn off the news or take a rest and step back from the world. I want you to know it's okay. It's also important to take care of yourself. So when you are feeling better, that means you can come back, stronger than before, to stand up for decency, community and justice. Don't let them win. Embrace your awesomeness and let your light shine. Wherever you are, whoever you love, you are not alone. Be an ally, be kind, be that positive change you want to see in the world. And for everyone's sake, please don't let hate or ignorance win. As always, keep evolving.